Students, we are now in part 2 session. Students, in part 1 session we have started the new chapter 6, application of differentiation. Isn't it? Do you feel easy this chapter? Yes, it will be very easy. Only small concept here it will come. Okay, now if you see the previous session, we have learned about what is total cost, what is average cost, what is variable cost, what is fixed cost, and what is marginal revenue, then what is marginal cost, then everything we have learned, isn't it? About total cost fully we have learned, and we have learned about the marginal cost also. Now, in the part 2 session, we are going to start with the profit function. Okay, in the part 2 session, we are going to learn about total profit we are going to learn. So far, we have learned what is total cost and what is total revenue. We have learned already in part 1 session. Now, in this session, we are going to learn about the total profit. Okay, how we are finding the total profit means total revenue minus total cost. If you are subtracting, we will be getting total profit. Clear? That 20 they were saying the excess of total revenue. Excess means more over the total cost of production is called the profit. Okay, so if R of X is the excess of total revenue over the total cost of production is called the profit. Means revenue, if you subtract from the cost, that is the what amount you are getting, that is the profit amount. Clear? If R of X is the total revenue and C of X is the total cost, then the profit function is defined as P of X is equal to R of X minus C of X. Clear? In this also we are having some standard result. See, profit function, if they say immediately, what you have to think? Revenue function minus cost function is the profit function. Clear? In lower class you have learned, isn't it, profit is equal to what you have learned in 8th standard, 7th standard? Selling price minus cost price you have learned, isn't it? The same thing, only profit function is equal to revenue function minus cost function. Clear? That is the profit function. Now in that first we will see average profit. I told you wherever you are having average, you have to divide with X. Isn't it? I told you in part 1 session. See, here also we are dividing average profit, which means profit you have to divide with X. So P of X divided by X. Clear? Marginal profit. In the previous part 1 session I told, wherever you are having marginal, you have to differentiate. I told you, isn't it? Marginal profit means you have to differentiate the profit. So which means what we will get? P dash of X. Profit, if you are differentiating, we will get P dash of X. The third result is marginal average profit. Okay, marginal means you have to differentiate. What you have to differentiate? Average profit you have to differentiate. So, average profit, if we differentiate, AP dash the X we are getting. Okay, now fourth one is when the profit P of X is maximum, means how the marginal value means it will be equal to the marginal cost. Clear? So profit P of X is maximum when marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost. Students, clear all of you about this profit function? Because based on this profit function only, now we are going to start the exercise 6.1. Okay, the remaining problems we are going to see. Clear? Now we'll start the exercise 6.1. In exercise 6.1, next we are going to see the 12th question. The demand function of your commodity is P equal to 200 minus X divided by 100 and its cost is C equal to 40X plus 120. Okay, where P is a unit price and C is the cost. Okay, so P is a unit price in rupees and X is a number of unit producers. And determine profit function we have to determine. The second subdivision is average profit at an output of 10 unit we have to determine. The third subdivision is marginal profit at an output of 10 units. Still one more subdivision we are having. which will be marginal average profit at an output of 10 units. Students, first we'll see the 3 subdivision, then we'll see the last 4 subdivision. You see the question. First they have given the unit price P equal to 200 minus X divided by 100. If you see the first subdivision, what we have to find? We have to find the profit function. What we have seen now, profit function is equal to revenue function minus cost function we have seen, isn't it? Which is nothing but profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. Okay, so for that what we need? Revenue function we need, isn't it? Whether in the question they have given revenue function value, they have not given. So what is the revenue function formula? Revenue is equal to price into output. Output is nothing but X. So P into X, if you multiply, that is the revenue. Okay, so P price they have given is what in the question? 200 minus X divided by 100 into X. Now take this X inside, 200X. X into X is X square by 100. Now the revenue function is what? R equal to 200X minus X square divided by 100 is the revenue function. Clear? The first subdivision is profit function we have to find. Profit function is formula is what? Revenue function minus cost function. Revenue function already we are having the value 200x minus x square by 100 minus cost function in question 40x plus 120 they have given. Okay, the next step we are taking the minus inside to each term. So 200x minus x square by 100 minus 40x minus 120. Clear? So the profit function is equal to 200x minus 40x is 160x minus x square by 100 minus 120. Clear all of you? We have finished the first subdivision. Next subdivision is what? We have to find the average profit. Students, I told you wherever you are having the word average, you have to divide with x. So average profit is equal to, you have to divide the profit function by x. What is the profit function value we are having? 160x minus x square by 100 minus 120 divided by x. Okay, so here also x is there. See, this x is not only for 160. This is for each term the x we are having common. So in this x will get cancelled, in this 1x will go. So 160 minus 1x if goes means remaining 1x will be there. So x divided by 100, here no x to cancel, so this x will be in divide. Minus 120x. 120 divided by x. Clear all of you up to this? Now in the question if you see, average profit at an output of 10 unit. Output means what I have told from the part 1 video. Output means x. So they have given x is equal to 10. We are going to substitute now. When x equal to 10, average profit function we are going to find. Okay, average profit is equal to 160. Okay, here we are going to substitute x. Wherever you are having x, we are going to substitute 10. 160 minus x we are having, isn't it? So 10 divided by 100 minus 120 divided by 10. 160 minus 1 divided by 10 minus 12. 160 if you subtract with 12, we are getting 148 minus 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. 148 minus 0.1 is 147.90. Clear all of you this question? This subdivision, second subdivision, all of you are clear? Next we will see the third subdivision. Marginal profit. We have to find what? Marginal profit. Marginal, if the word comes, what will you do? We will differentiate. So we are going to differentiate the profit function with respect to x. What is the profit function we are having? 160x minus x square by 100 minus 120. This functions we are going to differentiate with respect to x. See, 160x. X if you differentiate we will get 1. So 160 into 1 is 160. Then x square if you differentiate 2 into x divided by this 100. Minus 120 is constant. So constant if you are differentiating we will get 0. Here this 160 minus 1 times this is 50 times. 1 2 is 2. 5 2s are 10, so 50. X divided by 50. Marginal profit value what we have got? 160 minus x divided by 50 we are having. but we have to find at an output of 10 unit, which means in the place of x we have to substitute 10 and we have to find the marginal profit at an output of 10 units. See, I will consider this as the page number 1. The continuation of this and the fourth subdivision we will see in the page number 2. Clear all of you this up to this third subdivision? Yes. Students, this is the last step we have written in page number 1, isn't it? Marginal profit is equal to 160 minus x divided by 50. We have got the value. Now we have to find the marginal profit at x equal to 10. Okay, see the third question. Marginal profit at an output of 10 units they have given, which means output means x equal to 10. We have to substitute in that third subdivision answer. So what is the third subdivision answer? Marginal profit is equal to 160 minus x by 50 we are having, isn't it? So if you substitute 160 in the place of x, you are substituting 10 by 50. So 10 by 50 means what? 0, 0 will get cancelled. So 1 by 5 is what? 0.2. So 160 minus 0.2 is 159.8. That is the marginal profit. Clear? Now we'll see the fourth subdivision. See the fourth subdivision, marginal average profit at an output of 10 units. See, marginal average means what? Marginal means what? You have to differentiate the average profit. Okay, so average profit, what answer we have got? 160 minus x by 100 minus 120 by x. That is the answer we have got for average profit. Okay, so that we are going to differentiate. So 160 is what? It is a constant number. So if we differentiate 160, it will become 0 minus 1x. If you differentiate, you will get 1 by 100. Okay, now you see minus 120 by x we are having. So I told you in the starting itself, differentiation of 1 by x. I think we have seen in part 1 session this concept. Differentiation of 1 by x, what answer you will get there? 1 by x is nothing but x power minus inverse. So minus 1 into x power minus 1 minus 1, which is equal to minus 1 into x power minus 2. From this we can write minus 1 divided by x square we can write, I told you, isn't it? So minus 1 by 100 plus 120 by x square. Clear now? Now this is what is the value? Marginal average profit value. So in that they have given output of 10 unit. So marginal average profit at x equal to 10 you have to substitute in the place of x. You are going to substitute 10. We are going to find the value. After erasing this, I will do that step. Clear students, all of you? Now see, when x equal to 10, marginal average profit we are substituting the value, which is minus 1 by 100 plus 120 divided by x square we are having, isn't it? So in the place of x we are substituting 10 the whole square. So minus 1 by 100 plus 120 plus 120 divided by 10 square is 100. So both the denominators are same. So 100 minus 1 plus 120. So 120 minus 1 is 119 divided by 100. So what we will get? 1.19 is the marginal average profit at output 10 units. The answer. Clear students, all of you, the 12th question? Yes, next we will see the 13th question. Students, next we are going to see the 13th question. See the question, find the value of x when the marginal function of y is equal to x cube plus 10x square minus 48x plus 8 is twice the x. What they were saying? They have given y function, y value they have given, and they are saying marginal function of y. Marginal function of y means what? Marginal means differentiate. Okay, we have to differentiate. So marginal function of y means dy by dx. Okay, dy, because see that what alphabet y is equal to x cube plus 10x square minus 48x plus 8. This side we are having the variable y, and after the LHS we are having the variable x. So marginal means we have to differentiate y with respect to x. Okay, which is twice the x they have given. Okay, marginal function of y is twice the x means, so marginal function of the y means how can we write dy by dx equal to twice the x, so 2 into x. Clear all of you? This they have given in the question. Using this int we have to find the value of x. Clear all of you? Marginal means we have to differentiate. Here what they are asking to differentiate means they are asking us to differentiate the y with respect to x. When by that time when we are differentiating, we will get the answer twice the x they have given. So only we have written dy by dx equal to 2x. Clear all of you? Now y function what they have given, y equal to x cube plus 10x square minus 48x plus 8. Okay, this we are going to differentiate y with respect to x. Clear? So dy by dx equal to d by dx of this full term. Okay, next x cube if you differentiate 3x square, 10x square if you differentiate 2 into 10 into x power 1, 48x if you differentiate 48 into 1, 8 if you differentiate 0. So I have not written that. So 3x square, 2 10s are 20x minus 48. Now we have got dy by dx answer. What in the question they were saying? Dy by dx equal to 2x they are given. So in the place of dy by dx I am substituting 2x. We have written the side also. 2x is equal to the same I am writing here. 3x square plus 20x minus 48. Then I am taking this 2x to that side. 3x square plus 20x minus 2x minus 48 equal to 0. So 3x square 20 minus 2 is 18x minus 48 equal to 0. Okay, throughout we are dividing by 3 because all the term it will be dividing by 3. So we are dividing by 3 means what we will get, x square 18 divided by 3 means 6x, 48 divided by 3 we will get 16 equal to 0. Now it is in what form? It is in quadratic form, so we can do factorize. Factorize, how will you do? Do you remember? You have learned in 10th standard, isn't it? So before x square you have to consider it is 1. No coefficient means you have to consider it as 1. So 1 into minus 16 is minus 16. The 6 you have to write down. Okay, so 8 2s are 16. Okay, so if two number multiply, you have to satisfy to the numerator. If two number add or subtract, you have to get the down value. So 8 2s are 16. Since we have here minus 16, whenever we are having minus in the top, surely you will get smaller number minus. So I am writing here minus. Now see 8 minus 2 I am getting 6. So now when I am factorizing I am getting x plus 8 one answer, another answer is x minus 2. From this x plus 8 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0. From this x equal to minus 8, here x equal to 2. Therefore x equal to minus 8 comma 2 is the answer. That only we have to find. Find the value of x they were asking, isn't it? So the value of x equal to minus 8 comma 2. Clear all of you the 13th question? Yes. Hence, we are going to see now 14th question. Okay. Now see the question. I have written the question in short form. Okay. And read the full question now. Total cost function y for x unit. Okay. Total cost function y for x unit is given by y equal to 3x, x plus 7 divided by x plus 5 plus 5. Show that the marginal cost decreases continuously as the output x increases. Okay, what we have to show means we have to show the marginal cost is decreasing. When it is decreasing means when we are giving the output x value, that time it should be increasing. Okay, when the x value is increasing, by that time marginal cost decreasing we have to show. Clear now the question? Now see, marginal cost they were saying. Marginal means what? You have to differentiate the cost. Isn't it? That only marginal cost. So your total cost is what? Y. So which means you have to differentiate dy by dx. Okay, we have to differentiate y with respect to x. That is the first step we are going to proceed. Now you see here y, what is the value they have given? Y equal to 3x, x plus 7 into x plus 5 plus 5. Now I am taking this 3x inside. 3x into 3x is 3x square. 3x into 7 is 21x divided by x plus 5 plus 5. Here, now here also 3 and here also 21 I am having. Both will go in what? Same table, isn't it? Which table both will go? Both will go in 3 table. So if I take 3 commonly out, x square plus 7x divided by x plus 5, then plus 5. Clear now? Now from this y value only we are going to differentiate. Okay? Now see, differentiating y with respect to x. dy by dx is equal to the right hand side fully I am writing d by dx of 3x square plus 7x divided by x plus 5 plus 5. Clear? Now the next step, if you see, I am taking the d by dx inside. Okay, this 3 is constant, so I am taking the before it. 3 d by dx of x square plus 7x divided by x plus 5 plus d by dx of this 5. Clear all of you up to this? Clear? Now you see here differentiation of what in fraction we are having. So which is what rule? What rule this is? Quotient rule. Quotient rule, what is the formula? D by dx of u by v is equal to vu dash minus ub dash divided by v square. Okay, what is the quotient rule? vu dash minus uv dash divided by v square. So based on this we are going to express now. Clear? So what is the rule? V. So V is denominator, U is the numerator. You all know, isn't it? Do you want me to write which one is V and which one is U? No need, isn't it? You itself will know. Numerator part is U and denominator part is V. See now, V U dash. So V means denominator x plus 5 you keep as such. U dash means this is U. This x square plus 7x you have to differentiate. So if you differentiate x square plus 7x, what you will get? X square if you differentiate 2x. 7x if you differentiate 7. Clear all of you? Then in formula minus. Students, since I don't have space here, so I have written the formula here. When you are writing the classwork, you have to write in that side. Clear? Now we will move to the first answer. Minus, here also minus. U v dash. U is what? X square plus 7x. Okay, now v dash means we have to differentiate v. V is nothing but what? X plus 5. X if you differentiate, we will get 1. 5 if you differentiate, we will get 0. Divided by v square. V square is nothing but x plus 5 the whole square. Okay, plus d by dx of 5 we are having. 5 is what? It is a constant. If you differentiate the constant, what we will get? We will get 0. Clear now? Now 3 into x into 2x is 2x square, x into 7 is 7x, 5 into 2 is 10x, 5 into 7 is 35. Minus x square plus 7x into 1 divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Clear all of you? Now if you see 3, here 2x square plus 7x plus 10x plus 35 I am writing as such. I am taking that minus inside. So what we will get? Minus x square minus 7x. We will get, isn't it? So why we are getting that? Because x square plus 7x into 1 is x square plus 7x. So I am taking this minus inside. Minus x square minus into plus is minus 7x divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Clear now? If you see 3, 2x square here minus x square. So you will get x square. 7x plus 10x is what? Here plus 7x and minus 7x will what? It will become cancel. Now I will show that. So plus 7x and minus 7x is getting cancelled. So remaining is plus 10x plus 35 divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Clear now? The next step, if you see 3x square plus 10x plus this 35, how we are splitting means 25 plus 10. 25 plus 10 is what? 35, isn't it? I am splitting it 25 plus 10. Why means, see what they are saying, marginal, when the marginal cost decreases means continuously as the output x increases, which means x value has to decrease. So in the numerator part you should not suppose to have x value itself for this question, because we need marginal cost to be decreased. Okay, so if you are having x value in the numerator means it will not decrease, it will increase only. So this full term we have to make it into constant. Okay, in the numerator part we should not have any x term. To like that we have to bring it, we have to simplify. Clear now? In the numerator part, we should not supposed to have x term. For that, we have to simplify more step. Okay, at which point we are getting in the numerator no x, there we can stop. That only we are going to do. See now, this 35 I am splitting into 25 plus 10. Why I am doing like that means, see x square plus 10x plus 25. That alone I am taking separately, then plus 10 I am writing. Divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Students, now see here, this is x square, this is 2ab. Okay, consider that x square plus, instead of 10x, if I write 2, I'll write here x the whole square plus 2 into a is x, b is 5 plus 5 the whole square. Suppose if you are having. Okay, so now x square 2 into x into b. B is what? 25. 25 what is the square number? 5 the whole square. So this is a square, this is b square, this is plus 2ab. So this is in what formula? A plus b the whole square formula it looks like, isn't it? This is a square, this is 2ab and this is plus b square. Okay, instead of a square we are having a x square. Instead of 2ab, 2x, 2 into x, 2x. 2x into 5 is 10x. So 2ab term also we are having. 5 square is 25. That term also we are having. So how can we write this, which is equal to, when you will express like this, when you are having in the left hand side x plus 5 the whole square only, we will express like this. Isn't it? Now x plus 5 the whole square means x square plus 10x plus 25. So that we are having. So instead of this, how I am going to write means x plus 5 the whole square. Clear? I am writing as x plus 5 the whole square. Clear? This is equal to x plus 5 the whole square plus 10 divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Okay, why we are doing like this means, in the numerator part you should not supposed to have x value, which is output value. If you are having in the numerator means the value will not decrease, the marginal cost will not decrease. We have to show the marginal cost has to be decrease. Okay, now see, I have this x square plus 10x plus 25 I have made into x plus 5 the whole square. Then remaining this 10 will be, no, that I am writing as such, divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Clear? X plus 5 the whole square by x plus 5 the whole square plus 10 divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Because this denominator is for this term and as well as for this term. Clear? Now x plus 5 the whole square and x plus 5 the whole square both will get cancelled, means we will get 1 plus 10 divided by x plus 5 the whole square. Now you see whether in the numerator do you have any x term? We are not having x term. Okay, only in the denominator you are having x term. So whatever the value you give for x, what you will get? For example, I will tell you now. Now you see here, suppose in the denominator you are having 1 for example I am telling, if you are having denominator 10 means what answer you will get? 0.1. Suppose the denominator value has increased from 10 to 100 means what you are getting? 0.01, which means 0.1 is big or 0.01 is big? 0.1 only big. So when the denominator you are having the bigger number, when compared to the numerator, the value will be decreasing, isn't it? So here 10, here 0.1, here 100, here we are getting 0.01. So when compared to the numerator, the denominator value if you are having more means the value will be decreased. So like that, here x plus 5 the whole square we are having. Whole square means if you suppose if you give 1 also. Suppose if you are instead of x, if you are giving 1 means 1 plus 6 is what? 6, 1 plus 5 is what? 6. So if you square it at 6 square we are having. So 10 divided by 36 you will be having. So 10 divided by 36 means what? 36 is big when compared to the 10. So surely you will be get decreased value only. Hence we have proved when when x increases, marginal cost function dy by dx will be decreased. So this value dy by dx value will be surely it will decrease. When your x increasing means the marginal cost function will be decreasing from this. Clear all of you? Clear all of you the 14th question? Yes. Next we are going to see the 15th question. See the question. Find the price elasticity of demand for the demand function x equal to 10 minus p. What we have to find? We have to find elasticity of demand. So, what is the elasticity of demand formula? Elasticity of demand will be denoted by eta d is equal to minus p by x dx by dp. This formula already we have learned in part 1 session. Do you remember this? Based on that elasticity of supply, you have done the homework also. Isn't it? Elasticity of supply means here it will not come negative. Elasticity of supply will be in positive. That alone will differ. Now we have to find the elasticity of demand, and as well as we have to examine whether it is elastic or inelastic or unit elastic. We have to examine at price p equal to 6 we have to find. Clear? We have given x equal to 10 minus p. We need in the elasticity of demand formula dx by dp, which means we have to differentiate this given x value. Okay, with respect to p we are differentiating. So dx by dp is equal to d by dp of 10 minus p. 10 if you differentiate we will get 0, p if you differentiate we will get 1, because we are differentiating with respect to p. So if you differentiate p we will get 1. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Now we have got the value for dx by dp equal to minus 1. Now we will substitute that value in the elasticity of demand formula. Eta d is equal to minus p divided by x value is what? 10 minus p into dx by dp value is minus 1. Okay, already here one minus, there one minus. Minus minus it will become positive. So p divided by 10 minus p. Clear? What we have to put now? Price p is equal to 6 we have to put. By the time we have to see whether it is greater than 1 or it is less than 1 or it is equal to 1 we have to see. Clear? Now eta d is equal to 6 divided by 10 minus 6. We are having 6 divided by 4. 6 and 4 will go in same table, isn't it? In which table both it will go? 2 table. In 2 table 6 how many times? 3 times. In 2 table 4 how many times? 2 times. So after cancelling I am getting 3 by 2. Students, when I am teaching the elasticity conditions, I have written everything in modulus, inside the modulus. So here also I am writing in the inside the modulus. So modulus of 3 by 2, already the value is in positive. So when you take out, it will be again positive only. When you are dividing 3 by 2, usually you will get greater than 1 value only you will get. So which means what? Eta d is elastic. Okay, you will be having 3 conditions in finding the elastic. What are that? If eta d is greater than 1, it is elastic. If eta d is equal to 1, it is unit elastic. If eta d is less than 1, it is inelastic. Isn't it? We have learned this everything in part 1 session. Okay, now we are getting eta d value is greater than 1. Therefore, eta d is elastic. Clear, students, all of you, the 15th question? Yes. Next, we are going to see the 16th question. Before that, we have to know some notes regarding that. What does that means? First, we are going to see the equilibrium price. Equilibrium price means a price of demand. Okay, price of demand for commodity, for anything. Okay, it will be equal to price of supply. Okay, equilibrium price means price of demand is equal to price of supply. It is denoted by P of E. Equilibrium quantity means quantity of demand is equal to quantity of supply. Okay, demand means price means price of demand is equal to price of supply. Quantity means quantity of demand is equal to quantity of supply. It is denoted by, quantity is denoted by x of E. Okay, then equilibrium point means point of intersection of demand and supply function. It is called equilibrium point. If you see in your book, they have given equilibrium graph. So in that the supply function and as well as the demand function will meet at the same point. So that point is called the P of E comma X of E, and that point is called the equilibrium point. Clear all of you? Equilibrium point is nothing but at same price if you are buying same quantity. Okay, so same price if you are buying same quantity is called equilibrium point. Clear students? Now if you see equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, what both are, which one is equal? Demand is equal to supply, isn't it? Now based on this concept we are going to solve the 16th question. Okay, now see this. Find the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity for the following function. They have given demand function and as well as they have given supply function. What is the demand function they have given? Demand x equal to 100 minus 2p and supply x equal to 3p minus 50. Okay, with this demand function, supply function, we are going to find what? Equilibrium price and as well as equilibrium quantity we are going to find. Okay, now demand they have given and supply they have given at equilibrium. Okay, at equilibrium point, what will be equal? If you see in equilibrium price, demand is equal to supply. In equilibrium quantity, demand is equal to supply. So at equilibrium point, demand will be equal to supply. Okay, demand function will be equal to supply function. Okay, what is the demand function they have given? 100 minus 2p. Okay, 100 minus 2p is equal to, what is the supply function we are having? 3p minus 50. So take it p variables one side and constant one side. So if we are taking, we are getting 150. This side we are getting 5. So 150 divided by 5 is equal to p. So p is equal to 30. What is the P? What in P is we are denoting by what? Equilibrium price. Now we have got equilibrium price. Equilibrium price P of E is what? 30. The first one we have found. Next one is what we have to find? Equilibrium quantity we have to find. So in any of the one value if you are substituting, we will get the equilibrium quantity. So I am substituting in the demand. So when p equal to 30, x equal to 100 minus 2p. 100 minus 2 into, instead of p we are having 30. So 100 minus 60 is 40. X equal to 40. Clear? Now x is what? We are denoting, which one we are denoting by x? X of E. Equilibrium quantity we are denoting by x of E. So therefore equilibrium price is P of E is equal to 30 and equilibrium quantity x of E is equal to 40. That's all. We have found the equilibrium price and as well as the equilibrium quantity. Clear all of you the 16th question? Yes. Next we are going to see the 17th question. The demand and cost function of a frame are x equal to 6000 minus 30p and C means cost. Cost is equal to 72,000 plus 60x respectively. Find the level of output and price at profit is maximum. Okay, in the starting of the video, if you see, we have seen some important results on based on the profit. Okay, in that the last result what we have written means when the profit is maximum, marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost we have written. Okay, when the profit is maximum, the marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost. So this is not in the question, so for your reference I have written here. So when the profit is maximum, what will be your answer? Your marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost. So in this question, whether they have given any marginal revenue value, No. Whether they have given marginal cost? No. But they have given what is x function and what is cost of the function they have given. So with that we have to find level of output. Level of output means x value we have to find and price we have to find. Price is nothing but P. Okay, where we have to at profit is maximum. Okay, where output and the price we have to find at profit is maximum we have to find. Clear all of you? Shall we start the solution? Now, what is given in the question first? X equal to 6000 minus 30p they have given. Okay, now first what we have to find? Marginal revenue value we have to find. So, for what is the revenue formula? Revenue is equal to P, price into X we know. Okay, this formula we have applied in more than 3 problems. So, revenue is equal to P into X. So, in the question we have given only X. Okay. So, X equal to 6000 minus 30p. Whether you are having here P value? No. So, first we will find the P. How can we find from the question? X equal to 6000 minus 30p means I am taking this 30p this side and taking this X inside. So, P equal to 6000 minus X divided by 30. Okay. Now, we have got the P value. Okay, using this equation, we have got the P value, price value we have got. So, revenue is equal to 6000 minus X divided by 30 into what? Into X. Okay, the next step I am taking the X inside. 6000 into X is 6000, X into X is X square divided by 30. Clear? Now, how we have got the revenue value? By the formula. Revenue is equal to P into X. We are having the formula. Using the X equal to 6000 minus 30p, we have got the P value and we have substituted and we got the revenue value. Okay, now it is easy for us to find the marginal revenue. Isn't it? Marginal revenue means if you are differentiating the revenue, that is the marginal revenue. Isn't it? Marginal, the word comes means immediately what you have to do? You have to differentiate. Clear? So, d by dx of revenue you are going to differentiate with respect to x. So, revenue what answer you are having? 6000x minus x square by 30 we are having. So, if you differentiate this 6000x, x if you differentiate we will get 1. So, 6000 into 1 is 6000 minus x square if you differentiate we will get 2x divided by 30. Okay, now after differentiating, what is the marginal revenue we are getting? 6000 minus 2x divided by 30. Both in numerator we are having 2 as common. So take that 2, we can take that 2 commonly out. So if you are taking that 2 commonly out, what you will get inside? 3000 minus x divided by 30. Clear? So 2 and 30 if you are cancelling, what we will get? 3000 minus x divided by 15 we are getting. Okay. Now we have got marginal revenue value. Okay. Next what we have to find? We have to find marginal cost. Okay. Now for that they have given cost value. Cost function they have given. C is equal to 72,000 plus 60x. Okay, if they are given cost function means then it is easy for us to find the marginal cost, because if you are differentiating the cost function, that is the marginal cost. So, marginal, the word comes means we have to differentiate. So, d by dx of cost. Okay, d by dx of what is the cost we are having? 72,000 plus 60x. We are having 72,000 plus 60x is our cost. So, this we are going to differentiate. So, 72,000 plus 60x we are differentiating with respect to x. So, 72,000 is the constant. So, it will become 0. 60 into x. X if you differentiate we will get 1. So, 60 into 1 is 60. Okay, now we have got what is marginal revenue and as well as we have got marginal cost. So, we know that when profit is maximum, then marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Clear students, when the profit is maximum, marginal revenue will be equal to marginal cost. What is the marginal revenue? We have found 3000 minus x divided by 15. I am writing here is equal to, what is the marginal cost we are having? 60. Okay, now we can do the cross multiplication. We can take this 15 to that side. So 3000 minus x equal to 15 into 60. Clear? So 15 into 60, if we multiply, what we are getting? We are getting 900. So 3000 minus x is equal to 900. Take this 900 inside and take this x this side. So x equal to what we have got? 2100. Okay, now we have found what? X means what? Output. The level of output at profit is maximum is what? X equal to 2100. Clear? Now next what we have to find? Price we have to find. So we have to substitute this x equal to 2100 value in this. If you are substituting this, we are having P. Okay, that is the price, isn't it? So from this we will get the price. Now we will see that x equal to 6000 minus 30p I have written. Instead of x we are having 2100. In the left hand side you have to apply the value equal to 6000 minus 30p. Take the 2100 to the right and 30p to the right, the left. Okay. Next 30p equal to 6000 minus 2100. If you subtract means we are getting 3900. So P equal to 3900 divided by 30. So what you will get here? 0, 1 0 and 1 0 will get cancelled. So remaining will be what? 39 divided by 390 divided by 3 you will be having. So if you divide that, we are getting price is equal to 130. Clear? What we have to find in this question? We have to find the level of output and as well as the price at profit is maximum we have to find. So now we have got both. Output value is 2100 and price value is 130. Therefore, the level of output and price at which the profit is maximum are 2100 and 130. Clear, students, all of you? Clear? See, when profit is maximum means what formula you are going to apply? Marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Similarly, another result we have seen. When average cost is minimum means what is the formula? Marginal cost is equal to average cost. Okay, here profit they are talking. So profit is maximum means we are having marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. Clear, all of you? Next we are going to see the 18th question. The cost function of a firm is C equal to x cube minus 12x square plus 48x. Find the level of output. Output means what? X value we have to find. When you are finding the x value, it should be greater than 0. Okay, at which average cost is minimum. When the average cost is minimum, by that time we have to find the output, that is the value is x should be greater than 0 we have to find. Clear? Students, if you see the 17th question, they have given profit is maximum they have given. When the profit is maximum, what formula we have used? Marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Isn't it? Now if you see in 18th question, they have given average cost is minimum. Average cost is minimum means what is that? When will average cost will be minimum means when average cost is equal to marginal cost means the average cost will be minimum. Clear, all of you? Shall we start now the solution? Yes. Cost equal to, we have given the cost function, but with this function we have to find the average cost. I told you many times average comes, you have to divide that with x. Okay, here average cost is there, so we have to divide the cost by x. So this is the cost they have given in the question, you are dividing with x. So in each power one term will be one number will be reduced. So here what you will get x square minus 12x plus 48 is the average cost. Okay, now what we need here, average cost and as well as the marginal cost. When average cost is minimum means average cost is equal to marginal cost. We have got now average cost. Next we have to find what is marginal cost. Marginal, if the word comes, you have to differentiate, I told you, isn't it? So we are going to differentiate the cost with respect to x. Okay, this is the cost function. We are going to differentiate that with x. Clear? So x cube if you are differentiating 3x square, 12 I am writing as such, x square if you are differentiating I am getting 2x power 1 plus 48 into x. For x if we differentiate we will get 48. Clear? From this what is the marginal cost we are having? 3x square minus 12 twos are what? 24x plus 48. Clear? Now we have got what is average cost and we also got the marginal cost. See the question what we are saying? Average cost is minimum we are saying. Average cost is minimum when means average cost is equal to marginal cost. So average cost is what we are having, x square minus 12x plus 48. What is the marginal cost we are having? 3x square minus 24x plus 48. So what I am going to do is I am taking all the left hand terms to the right hand side. See, I have written here. After writing plus 48 and minus 48 is getting cancelled. 3x square minus x 1x square is 2x square. Minus 24 plus 12 is minus 12x equal to 0. Now if you see this two term, which is the common or commonly we are having 2x. So take the 2x commonly out. So x minus 6 inside the bracket we will get. Okay, the next step x minus 6 is equal to, this is in multiplication so it will become divide. So 0 divided by 2x. Any number if you are dividing with 0, its answer will be what? 0 only. So x minus 6 equal to 0. From this we have got x equal to 6. Now see whether this x value is greater than 0. Yes, it is greater than 0. Hence the level of output at which average cost is minimum is 6. Clear students all of you? Clear? With this I am completing the exercise 6.1. Clear students? Very easy problems are there and very easy formulas also there. Go through the video for twice or thrice and then write the formula separately on notebook. Read that formula. Okay? Once if you are thorough with the formula, then it will be easy for you to do any type of problems. Clear students? Thank you.